But you might have been wondering, there are some objects standing there. That was on purpose, actually, because they are symbolizing what the experts can do for you. And I just picked them up. I have here a Rolodex, which belongs to you. What is it symbolizing?
It symbolizes Bill and myself, our team. I'm sorry, we forgot the microphone. It symbolizes the team. Bill and I were working with 7 of us in The Hague. Bill being the manager there, and we're quite often seen as your Rolodex in the Netherlands. How do you get in contact with people like Eveline, or great advice that Erik Joost can offer? Well, in many cases, it's a person like me or Bill that connects you. And we're doing a lot of work to fill that Rolodex, and please use us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today. There is, I've seen you. You got some questions, probably. Can you just come a little bit closer, because we're walking out of the of the live stream with all those people. Questions?
Yes. I picked up tea. Thanks for squeezing me in here, because obviously we're running out of time, but I promised my online viewers that I would step back in and pose these questions to our speakers. So here I am, guys. Thanks for all the great input. First one is, how, and I think that's for you, Erik, how do you choose, let me come next to you, yeah, there we go. How do you choose which type of fiscal representation to enter to?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, very technical. That's for VAT. So if you want to apply this Dutch VAT regime in order to avoid paying VAT at import, it's you need to, as a Canadian company or foreign company, you need to appoint a fiscal representative. There are 2 types, a general and a limited fiscal representative. And to normally, when there's a substantial business involved, when you also do, for example, e-business, so selling to consumers, when you may also be sourcing within the European Union, and when the values are substantial, it's normally better to appoint a general fiscal representative. And in other cases, a limited fiscal representative can also be sufficient. But there are a number of conditions and a number of rules that need to be looked into. But I would say, as a startup, if the business is not that huge at the beginning, a limited fiscal representation can be sufficient. Otherwise, in general, also to limit the risk, it's better to have a general fiscal representation, because the interesting thing is the limitation of risk requires a general fiscal representation. That's
all right, thanks. Well, and as I promised on Twitter and in the chat, that if people want to get in touch with you, you obviously offered already the 1 hour of free advice. I hope that is sufficient. Well, the second one I wanted to pick up is, will the tariffs be removed from value-added products should the EU-Canadian Free Trade Agreement be successful?
Yeah, that depends on the politicians and the officials of Canada and the EU, because there's a lot of negotiations still going on which products will be subject to the zero rate. You can think of products that are not produced in the EU will be probably subject to a zero rate. But you can also think of, for example, if there's a certain meat product or a certain product that's also produced in the EU, it's not likely that the EU will step away from all the duties, because that will have a substantial impact on the EU farmers. So that's up to the politicians. You normally see that all the products not in the food industry will be subject to the zero rate under certain conditions, especially when they are of Canadian origin. And in the food industry, agricultural industry, that will depend on the outcome of the negotiations. And I think the politicians are still discussing as we
because
talk
I
today.
think that's going to answer the last question as well. Do you have any idea when this is going to start?
In January, people said it's a matter of weeks, but now we are in March and it's still pending, and it's still a matter of weeks. So
maybe Bill can say a little bit more about that.
Here you go.
Well, yeah, the comment I would make is that this is a big priority for the Canadian government and obviously the European Commission as well. And the negotiators are hard at work trying to hammer out the last details in finalizing the text of an agreement. And certainly, as Erik says, it's a matter of weeks. And you know, I'm sure it'll be in the newspapers as soon as it's concluded.
Yeah, but it will be a matter of product by product checking whether they are on the list for the zero rate or not.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I hope
Thanks
you...
to my audience
Yeah.
for interacting so much. You were great.
Sorry, they couldn't hear that.
That's true. I love you guys. Thanks.
Great, thank you very much. Erik, the textbooks were yours.
course, yeah.
What do you want to say with those books?
It may look complicated, but it's not as difficult as it looks like. So it's, as I mentioned, as long as the setup is okay, so think about the strategy and the plans for the European market, think about how to comply, which partners you need, and then it should be easy to do business in the European Union.
Okay, thank you so much. Eveline, what was your object?
My object was this chain.
Can you show it to us? And
Sure.
can we
I'll
get
show
a
it.
little bit closer so we...
It's a keychain, but it actually reflects the supply chain within Europe. As you can see, all these chains are well connected and they have a different size. So first of all, I would say that this represents the European market with countries with different sizes and different market potential. And because they're all connected, I would say that this is a very well designed supply chain. And I would say that the second story behind it is that this chain actually also represents our network, as we offer a matchmaking, complementary and confidential matchmaking to foreign companies. And this chain actually represents all the different partners we have in the network, which offer one solution for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Joost, do you have a last comment from your side?
I have an item as well, actually.
This is glass of milk.
And I'll show it.
They can't hear you.
I have an item as well, actually, and I'll show it. This is my glass of milk from my business lunch. Cheers.
Okay, thank you very much.